Greetings, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in and welcome to another edition of Female Barber Talk with Yah-Tay. I am your host, Yah-Tay Keaton, and we're back with another episode of, actually, it's part of the Think Like a Barber series, Foundation, Focus, and Execution, where skills meet structure and structure builds professional. So today, we're talking about your lineup. Um, it's before people notice the fade, they notice the lineup. The hairline is one of the most visible parts of the haircut. And if you ask many clients, ask a lot of customers who get their haircut, they'll probably say it is number one. You can pretty much I won't say you want to intentionally mess up on the haircut, but if you don't do so well on the cut, if you got that front, that hairline, that shape up, edge up, line up, whatever you call it, depending on where you're from, if that is on point, you good. Because when they leave out, after they've looked in the mirror and they get in their vehicle or get where they're going, guess what? They're going to look at it again in the mirror to check it out. So the hairline, like I said, is one of the most visible parts of the haircut. And one bad decision can affect a client for weeks, months, depending on what happens when the barber or barber stylist is putting them clippers to that hairline. So today we're talking about precision, restraint, enhancement culture, and why respecting a client's hairline matters. Because I'm going to tell you, I've had some clients come to me and talk about their experiences with barbers pushing them back. You know, they're messed up where that part doesn't grow. I'm going to show y'all some of mine. All right. You can see it on the, hey, WK, thank you for joining. Greatly appreciate you tuning in. We are continuing on with this Think Like a Barber series. I think I have like 5, maybe 6 more in this series. But nonetheless, this is episode 85. Your lineup or your shape up speaks first, mastering the hairline. So we got to respect the line. But thank you for tuning in. So as I mentioned, the hairline is one of the most visible parts of the haircut. And most clients will tell you it's the most important part. Even though they want a great fade, they want a great cut. But I'm telling you, if they had to choose between the two, no, let me stop. I ain't going to say that. So before every before every sharp line, every sharp line is not always good. I'm going to just say that. I'm saying before every sharp line. Because every sharp line is not always good, we're going to talk about some points that are going to help. So if you're a beginning barber, if you're a new barber, even if you're a seasoned barber, you might be able to get something out of this. So as always, I have 3 points. I got my tools here, and we got old Pretty Ricky here. We got Pretty Ricky back with us today, and we're going to talk about 3 points as it relates to this subject that I'm sharing with you. I am also going to share some of my hairlines, shape ups up close, and y'all get to tell me what you think. And we'll talk about some real talk moments in preparation to close us out. So let's get started with point 1. And I had my good old friend ChatGPT help me out with some visuals so that you can have some visuals along with Pretty Ricky and various trimmers. And I go over the 3 and why I use each one of them and why I have 3. And I'll talk to you about that, even though I've said it before. But if you don't remember, I'm going to share that again. Why I have 3 and how I use all three of them. So the first point, let's get to this first point here. Let me pull it up real quick. Uh, Hold on, y'all. Give me a second. Working these, this technology is something, y'all. Let's pull it up. Hold on. Give me a second. Here we go. Let's get it pulled up. Somebody is trying to connect with me. Y'all hear my phone buzzing? I gotta tell y'all know I normally, traditionally, don't take clients on Sundays, but because it's back to school and my schedule has shifted a little bit, I took one of my young babies. He's actually starting pre-K on uh, Tuesday. So mom said they're gonna send me some pre-K first day of school images. So anywho, we had to get little man ready. So whatever it takes for the kids, y'all know that I'm all in when it comes down to the kids. But let's get to point number one. Point number one is natural always come first. I always, before I get into the image, I always look at the client's natural line and I work with that first. Now I'll ask if they want it super sharp. In other words, they want it to look more natural, or I'm going to say it superficial. So in that case, I personally like to work with the client's natural hairline and not try to embellish it to make it super crisp with the 90 degrees on either side, make it super sharp, because that's just, no, and it's not about me, but that's how I am in terms of the services that I provide. I'm a natural hair stylist as a master hair care specialist. I specialize in natural hair. So in working with natural hair and providing those services, I always look to enhance the my clients' natural features, their natural hairline. Like me, I'll give you an example. I don't like a sharp line across the front of my head. I'll do my sides or goalposts, as some people call them, my C cup. But as y'all see, um, my glass arm has kind of rubbed out the bottom of my C cup. So what I do to camouflage that, um, I guess you would say, imperfection, is taper it out. I have my barber taper it out so it looks like that's how it's supposed to be. And then we do my bars and my back shape up around my ears, and V me in the back for my mohawk. With that, I I use that method for myself. But I do not like the straight line across. I think in my case, it's too manly. So I choose not to go that route. I like to keep more of the natural look. But for point one, natural always comes first. And let's put up this first point so you can see it. Make sure I got this right one. All right, so here we got the first point. Um, the first point, natural always come first. Work with the natural hairline, not against it. So like I mentioned, you got barbers who, yes, the clients want the crisp line, and the barbers do too, some of them. Some work with natural hairline. Whatever fits for you and your client, that's what you offer them. So natural always comes first. You want to work with the client's natural hairline and not against it. Every client has, number one, different growth patterns up there. Oftentimes you have a lot of whorls. in the top, and they can go in a lot of different directions. Some individuals have willow's peak that protrudes a little further down the forehead. So in that case, many of them, unless it's part of their culture or is something that they want to keep, um, you will go along that willow's peak and then create their hairline or shape up from that point. If they don't want it, they'll share with you. I have some clients that do want to keep their willow's peak, some that don't. And those that don't, and it grows further down the forehead, I shape them up with the trimmers first, and then I come back in with the razor to clean it up so that that area, they'll get a few extra days out of that area. But as I mentioned, every client has different growth patterns up there. They also have different concerns. So you want to address those concerns. Like I mentioned, if you can see Pretty Ricky, of course, this is a mannequin head, and it's going to be shaped a little different, unlike a human head, but it resembles a human head similarly. Hey, Ladosha, what's up? Thank you for joining. Appreciate it. We're talking about lineups, shape ups, edge ups, and how they speak first. So here we got Pretty Ricky. We got Pretty Ricky with his hairline. It's natural. You know, we're going to do a natural hairline on him. But as I mentioned, every client has a different growth pattern up here. So you want to be mindful of that. They also have different concerns. As I mentioned before, willows peaks. Their hair might grow a little further down the forehead. So you got to look at the weak side and the strong side and communicate with them as to what they want done. Oftentimes you take the strong side and match it up with the weak side. For barbers know about that. Clients, I communicate the strong and weak side to them in terms of hair growing more or more dense, or whatever the case may be in reference to the strong and weak side. I communicate that with them, and we make a decision based on what the client wants in my professional input as it relates to their front hairline. But be that as it may, every client has different concerns, and you want to address those concerns. And clients have different densities. Some may be thin on the side, some may be receding on the side, some may be more dense across the hairline. Whatever the case may be, you want to identify those points, address those concerns so that you can create the best outline that they want. You say, I'm breaking up. Oh man, no breaking up. Let me make sure I'm up. You are breaking up. Am I still breaking up? Hopefully I'm not. All right, we're going to keep it moving. So for point number one, natural always comes first. Work with the client's hairline. You want to work with the hairline and not against it. And there's three things that you should remember. Pretty Ricky, yeah, Pretty Ricky up. There are three things that you want to remember when you're working with the natural hairline. And that is, there are different growth patterns, there are different concerns for each client, and also there are different densities in that area. But remember, a great lineup starts with observation, not the trimmer. So you don't start with this. You start with observation, observing the person's growth pattern, observing or addressing their concerns, as well as looking at the different densities that they may have across the front hairline. And before I get into the second point, I want to share with you all these three trimmers, and y'all know I've mentioned this before. So my first trimmer is the Slimline Pro. They're pretty sharp, but they're not as sharp as my GTX and my Coco digital gap trimmers. So I use these on my babies, my younger kids. I also use these to doing eyebrows if I don't use a razor. Oftentimes, if my clients, the women can't use razors or they have some kind of concern with razors, I will use my Slimline Pro. So for my in-between clients who aren't able to take the sharp digital gap Coco trimmers, I use my Andy's GTX trimmers. So those are how I use them and why I use them. So with my babies, when they become a little more tolerable of the trimmers, then I go to the next ones. And once they are good to go with these, then I step it up a bit and I use my Coco digital gap trimmers. But those are what I use. Let's see, it stopped. LaDocha said it stopped. Okay, thank you. Unbettable teach that, Yah-Tay. Ah, thank you. You better teach that, Yah-Tay. Thank you. Hey, this my lane. This my lane. I might not know everything, but guess what? I'm going to get on and share what I know. And it's really about our younger barbers and those who are starting in the industry, getting a solid foundation. And though I am a little more seasoned coming in, I still, it's something about me connecting with the younger barbers, the new barbers, that audience as it relates to me coming in. Though I'm a lot older than them, I feel like my background and experiences can support them in helping them to lay a solid foundation. LaDocha say, I'm driving from New York back home to Boston. Oh, WeK. So sorry if I'm not too engaged in the discussion. That's okay. You be safe. I'm grateful that you are on and taking part in it. That's all that matters. I'm grateful, but you travel safely home. So remember, the goal with looking at the natural hairline and knowing that, or it should always come first. The goal is enhancement, not reconstruction, okay? You don't want to reconstruct the person's hairline, all right? In other words, you don't want to push them back. You don't want to make it what it's not. You know, you want to enhance it. And I'm talking from a, not from a spray can standpoint, enhance it, because there are barbers out there that use enhancements. I personally don't use them. And the majority of my clients that see me aren't in that enhancement. They're not into that. You know what I'm saying? I just don't do it. As my sister say, the spray can, the spray paint, I don't use it. So, and I won't get into the whys and the why nots of it, but our goal is to enhance the hairline, the front shape up, all of it, to enhance it, not to reconstruct it, okay? Trying to force a perfectly straight line on a naturally uneven hairline can create long-term and unrealistic maintenance. It can create long-term damage and unrealistic maintenance. Like I mentioned to you, I've had clients who have come to me and I can tell where the barber has pushed them back, and you can see it. So let me share with you all some of mine before we get into the next point of sharp doesn't mean pushback. And here just a few of my clients. Let's bring in this one here. This is one. So with this young man, his hairline is, I always tell him he has a perfect hairline. With him, his hair does grow further down the forehead. And what I do with him, or what we've done over the course of me doing his shape up, let me put it here. So oftentimes you look at these two areas as to well, I wish I had my comb, but I'm gonna use my pen. So on this mannequin, his sides start way back here. So it's honestly unrealistic, okay? On a human, it doesn't necessarily start back that far. But as you can see with my client, I usually work between this portion of the eyebrow and this portion of the eyebrow here. So for him, we were doing it on the bone here. And then he decided he wanted it to be a little bit wider. So with that, we made those adjustments. So for him, as I mentioned, his hair grows a little further down his forehead. So once I set his line, I go in after I put the lather on or the shaving cream, I come back with the razor and we clean him up. Not only does that clear up the hair that grows, you know, further down his forehead, it also gives him an extra couple of days of a sharp shape up. Let's see. LaDosha says they have a trend here in Cleveland called crispy. What are your thoughts? Yeah, I wonder about the crispy. I wonder if it's really for the client or if it's really crispy for the barber in terms of what they want to post. Social media and, you know, having those lines straight, you know, super straight. But to each his own. For me, my clients want to look good, feel good. So I give them what they want that's going to ensure that they look good and feel good. As I mentioned before, the majority of my clients don't use spray paint. I don't use none of that. Pencil, draw the lines. I don't use none of that. But that's just me. Anywho, let's get to point two. Point two says sharp doesn't mean push back. You can still have a sharp line, as you see with this client. I'm going to pull up another one. Let's give you another image here. Here's another image of another client. Sharp doesn't mean pushback. And on this particular client, he actually likes his sides very light. However, I leave his front hairline a little dark so that you can see it. That guides the eye off to the side. But okay, thank you. Hey, LaDosha, it wasn't always like this. It took some practice. But nonetheless, like I said, this particular client loves his hair, his sides and backs, not bald, but close to bald. And just so his front hairline will pop and you'll know that is there, I tend to leave it a little dark and go from there, as you can see it here. But that's another one of my clients. So sharp doesn't necessarily mean push back. He is one of the ones who had experienced pushback until he got with me. This client here has been with me, I want to say 3 years. We're going into our 4th year, the latter part of this month. So anywho, a sharp line should still look natural. As you can see on my clients, their lines are sharp. However, they look natural. Let me go back to this last one. Their lines are sharp, but it still looks natural. And between these two clients, their hair grows a little bit further down their forehead. So I ensure that it still looks natural. We're not taking them back here where they saluting. And I'm giving them the best that I got with the shape up. Let's see. LaDosha says, what about them W's in the back? I'm not a barber, but I won't force it. If I don't see it naturally, I won't do it. Good point. Great question. So I'm gonna say this. Most men, unless they want that hairline back there and they specifically ask for it, then I put it in. Oftentimes I see the W's with the women where they want to see that. And what I do is when I have a W, I also make it stand out. So I'll put in my lines to line it out first, and then I'll taper it out slightly so that you can see that contrast with it. If they want it bolded, emboldened, then I'll leave it as is. But if they, don't care either way, then I'll put the W in if that's their natural nape area line, if that's natural for them, then I'll enhance it by tapering it out just a bit so it can offer some contrast. But yeah, we get some W's too. I look at it, I see where it naturally falls, and I go with the naturalness of the W. I don't try to make it look superficial, none of that. So I do enhance my W's. I do allow them to stand out, providing that that's what my client wants, or the customer for that matter. So once again, a shape up should still look natural. As y'all can see, my clients still look natural with their shape up. I'm going to bring in one more for you all to see. And I got a few of them. This is one more. His hairline also grows down to his forehead. You can see it there as well. You can see it, that his hairline grows down. So I do the same thing with him. We shape it up. And actually what I do with him, and this is something that he and I discussed, that's Gavin. He and I have discussed this. That Gavin wear box braids, cornrows, no lock barrel twists. He wear a lot of different things. But oftentimes when he goes to wear his natural hair out, his afro out, we keep it full here. So his shape up might be like 1.25 inches. That way, if he decides to pull his hair back, you can see it. And if he allows his hair to fall forward, depending on if it's stretched out or not, you can still see it barely up under the front part of his hair. But he loves it. He loves it. I'm grateful. So with number 2, let me go ahead and put up slide number 2. All right. So with slide number 2, sharp doesn't mean pushback. Seriously, y'all. Sharp doesn't mean pushback, and clients don't want their hair pushed back. All right. A sharp line should still look natural. It should still look natural. And one of the biggest mistakes new barbers make is pushing the hairline back, trying to make it crispy. Especially if they got the weak side and the strong side not lining up, they'll keep going back trying to make it work. And next thing you know, that line is inching back, inching back, inching back, inching back. And with that, oftentimes they instead of being light with their handset, I always tell my clients and my students, the trimmers are going to do the work. They're going to do the work. You don't have to be scrubbing and rubbing on a person's head. You can cut them open up here. You can cut them open anywhere. But you can cause abrasions. You can cut them. You can do a lot of damage with these trimmers. You can mess with the hairline to the point where that, if you pushing them back so much and constantly hitting in the same spot, you can damage that. All right. But nonetheless, I always say The trimmers will do the work. They're designed to do the work. You don't have to, I'm going to use Pretty Ricky. You don't have to scrape them. Just tap, 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 tap. You don't have to make a mark in the head, okay? I'm just saying. I'm just saying, especially when you're working with children. Please be mindful of your handset when you're working with children. Young adults, teens, more mature individuals, they can handle these. But with our kids, y'all, please be mindful. We don't want to cause trauma for them. All right. So once again, the biggest mistakes that new barbers make is pushing the hairline back, trying to make it crispy. But once you remove that hairline, you have changed the client's shape. You have. You really have. So sharp and natural, 90 degrees, but not push back. Okay. Don't push it back. Please don't push it back. Follow the natural corners, shape. Follow the natural shape. Be sharp, clean, and you can keep the client shape. You really can. No pushback, all right? No pushback. A pushback creates the sharp look by pushing the hairline back. It changes the entire shape. So let's keep it natural. You can enhance it if you so choose, but let's keep it natural and not push the clients back, please, because you can cause damage to the hairline, to the follicles, all of that. We won't keep it natural. Clients may love it today until they realize their corners disappear faster they disappear faster every visit. Okay. All right. Protect the long-term integrity of the hairline. You want to protect the long-term integrity of the hairline. That's enough for point two. You get what I'm saying, right? Sharp doesn't mean push back. You can create a sharp line up, shape up, edge up without pushing the client back. Unless, in my case, like I showed you, the client hair goes down the forehead and you have to literally create a line. But between you and that client, y'all make the decision on how far you should go back. All right. I do that. It's the best thing because you're honoring their wishes and not putting them in a situation where their corners or their front line disappear forever. All right. Okay. So point number three, let's get into point number three. And we're going to be closing this thing out in a little bit. So point number three deals with precision. Precision requires patience. I shared with y'all my shape up. I wish I had some of my old, some pictures of some old lineup, shape ups, edge ups that I've done. They weren't always straight, I'm telling you. Ooh-wee, I've come a long way. That's all I say. That's all I say. So let me put this up. Okay, hold on, y'all. So for number three, precision requires patience. Slow hands create clean lines. When you're going too fast, you're moving too fast, you're bound to mess up. You're bound to cause an error. You're bound to mess up if you move too fast. Okay. I'm not saying that you can't, but for our newbies who are trying to get through to get to the next person, slow down just a little bit so that you can create that sharp line that the client is looking for. And oftentimes expecting, like I say, you give them a good shape up, edge up, line up, you pretty much, I ain't saying you want to mess up on the haircut now, but they'll let you get away with a not so good haircut if you got a sharp shape up, line up, or edge up on them. All right. Because that's the first thing people see, is that's the most visible part of the haircut, that shape up. All right. Especially this part right here in them C cups. You get on around here, you know, when you're looking at a person straight on, that's what you see. They turn their head, you see that C cup. And if they walking past you or you looking at them from behind, you can see everything else. And oftentimes they're tapered out in the back. They may even be tapered on the sides. But either way, that front line up, shape up, edge up is the most visible part of the haircut. So let's get into it. Precision requires patience. Slow hands create clean lines. The lineup requires a particular angle. Depending on how you maneuver your trimmers. And you always want, if you got the individual in the chair, you always want to have that head facing you. Okay? You might have to turn them a little bit, turn the chair, turn them a little bit, and make sure you're looking at it head on. All right? You get your line. I'm a lefty. So I'll go here, and then I'll come here. We flip it over. Y'all see that? Come here and flip it over. And then the front line, this front portion of the head, you'll use the center of the blade. And as you go to the right or left, you'll use the opposite side of the blade. And you want to use the first couple of teeth so that you're not creating a line across the head. Remember, this surface is round. It's not straight across. So you're going to have to maneuver that line and use the tip or the corners of the trimmers to continue your line from the front. All right. So you use particular angles. You use light pressure, but let me go back to the particular angles. Use the right angle for natural and sharp and for a sharp look, okay? Depending on which side of the head you're on, and if you're right-handed, it'll be like this here. Left-handed, if you use both, you're good. I use my dominant hand when I'm doing my shape ups. Depends on what's going on. If I'm freestyling a afro, I can use both. I can use both hands. I've trained myself early on to be able to use both hands. But anywho, lineup requires proper angles, light pressure, and again, light pressure prevents cuts, irritation, and harsh lines, especially when you're starting to shape up. You want to tap. It's like, you know, in art where you sketching, you draw a little light line to kind of look at where you're going with the drawing, and then you come back in and you fill it in. So tap, get your light line to guide you, and then go in and make your I don't want to say permanent, but make the line. So light pressure once again prevents cuts, irritation, and harsh lines. All right. Visual balance. Step back. You want to look at it. Use your mirror. Check it out. Balance both sides before you commit. So you want to look at using those light lines to balance both sides. Check it out. Make sure it looks symmetrical before you go in with your harder line. I'm going to say harder line, not harsh line, but your a final line on it. Make sure your points, you good. Is it on this part? Do they want it closer in? You know, what do they want? That's what you do. Let's see here. Oh, we already. LaDosha. Oh man, I'm missing comments. So no peanut liners or razors. Nah, I don't have any peanuts. I've seen them. I don't have any peanuts. However, I do use a razor, and I use my razor oftentimes with my younger children. If the parents say it's okay, I use a razor on them. But most of the times I don't use a razor on my children below a certain age. That's just me. For my big kids, my teenagers, my high schoolers, and of course my adults, I come in, set my lines with the trimmer, and then I come back and clean them up with the razor, especially for those who have that hair, extra hair growing down the forehead. I'll take and use the razor. So LaDosha also says, and what do you recommend for hairstylists by the way of liners or trimmers, and what's the difference? Well, these are all trimmers. They're just different types of trimmers. So like I said, these are the Andes GTX, has the cutout here. These are my Coco Digital Gap. These are really sharp. To me, these are really sharp. These are sharp too, but I think these are sharper. And then I have my Slimline Pro, which are sharp, but they aren't sharp like these two. You know, they're a little milder in my opinion. Though they're gapped properly, they're still a little milder. And I use these on my children. But in terms of trimmer, they all work. It's just your preference, what you want. Some stylists do use peanuts. I don't. One day, way too small for me. But some stylists use trimmers. If you're selecting them, you select them based on your preference, what you like, and what you're trying to achieve. At the end of the day, the trimmers, that's what they're made for. Shape ups, edge ups, line ups. So whatever you decide to choose is what will work for you. LaDosha also says nothing will reveal a bad hairline up like braids. Yes. What I said, should clients get their hair lined up before they braid service, I'm presuming, or after the service, lock service included? Not sure exactly what you're asking. However, I'm going to answer both parts of that. Because I am a barber stylist, I can either shape my clients up before the hair service, whether it be braids, twists, lock maintenance. I can shape them up before, or I can shape them up after. Oftentimes I choose to shape them up or cut their hair first, and then I get into the process of their style, shampoo, condition, leave-in, and then I do the style, and then I come back and finalize or come back in and shape them up more, meaning put the final touches on their shape up. And the reason being, clean hair gives an exceptional finished look, and you get the best cut when the hair is clean. So I oftentimes set my lines in, you know, like your sketch line. Set it up. Once I've shampooed them and done the complete style, then I'll come back in with the razor, the trimmers or the razor, whatever, and clean them back up and give them a finished touch on their shape up or line up or edge up, whatever they decide to call it. So for me, I can do it before. I choose to do it before, And then after the service, I fine tune it. For those who don't have the, I won't say opportunity, the privilege, they don't have the convenience of having a barber stylist, someone who not only specializes in natural hair care, but also does hair, whether they specialize in it or not. They do hair. They offer braiding services, a lock maintenance. If they don't offer or not, let me say not offer, if they're not trained as a barber or a cosmetologist or a master hair care professional, then as a regular braider, they won't be able to offer that. So that's where you get into the clients either coming to get their hair done first or going to get their hair cut and shaped up first and then coming to their braider or stylist afterwards. And oftentimes individuals with locks. So let me share this. I have some clients who don't come to me for barbering that have locks. And for me, because I know when they come to me for lock maintenance and servicing their locks, I know how to, separate the part that's going to be cut and keep the hair that goes into the lock without cutting into the lock, weakening the base of the lock, and messing them up. So I'm able to do that. So my clients who have their own barber, and I honestly, out of all my clients, I only have two that uses another barber. And that's okay with me. It's okay with me. So to answer, hopefully I answered your question on that. She said, thank you. Like me. Yes. I don't do lineups. Yes, I do them. I'm a one-stop. So my clients, my male clients in particular, can get their shape up. They can get their beards trimmed. They can get their edge up. They can get faded. They can get all of that done with me. One stop. Now for my women and children who I service, braid, style, their locks and their natural hair, I shape them up too. Now, a regular braider isn't able to do that because they're not licensed. So that's also another advantage that I have over my clients or with my clients who come see me. They're able to get a shape up, edge up, beard trim, faded, all of that before they leave. So they leave me with a complete look. They don't have to go somewhere else and have someone else finish the cut, for the exception of my two clients who have barbers. And that's okay. And actually, both of them are lock clients. So I know how to clean them up and make them, prepare them for their barber. Let's see. Visual balance, we talked about visual balance. We talked about patience. Rushing creates crack lines and irritation and uneven shaping. So you want to be patient when it comes down to the lineups. Precision requires patience. All right. You do it right, slow it down. You don't need a lot of pressure. You don't need a lot of pressure because, as I said, you can create cuts. You can cut the client, cause irritations, and create harsh lines, or furthermore, push them back, damage the hair follicle up there, and they be jacked up, and it could be permanent where it don't grow back, and they messed up. Anywho, it happens. It happens. But that's the difference. So remember, a great lineup starts with observation, not the trimmer. You got to look at what you're doing and don't just jump on the head with the trimmers. All right. Slow hands, sharp results, happy clients. Slow hands, sharp results, happy clients. Sometimes the smallest tap with the trimmer makes the biggest difference. Just a little tap. Just a little tap. And use that corner on the sides. And I always do this, y'all. So in case the head move, and it's most barbers do. But I especially do it with my kids because I can feel them when they moving. Feel them when they moving. But anywho, sharp lines, you know, no rushing, no rushing. Take your time. Sharp results, happy clients. All right, so let's get into the real talk of this and close it out. It's all been real talk, but let me share some real talk points with you. Let me see what Ladosha says. To me, the barbers are too harsh in the front, so I asked them to refrain from that because I see the lines going back. Yes, ma'am. That's why I say, I wonder if the crispiness for the barber or is it really for the client? I ain't gonna say nothing else. I'm gonna let that be. All right, let's get into the real talk moments, y'all. The real talk moments. So one, a bad lineup stands out instantly. You can see it. So just like I said in the beginning, the hairline is one of the most visible parts of the haircut. So if the hairline is one of the most visible parts of the haircut, guess what? That hairline is going to stand out. If it's bad, it's going to stand out. If it's good, it's going to stand out. But the real talk moment is a bad lineup stands out immediately. Number two, people notice it more than you think. Remember that. People notice a bad hairline more than you think. I know you are, Dosha. Woo! And I got to share this with y'all. Now that I'm a barber, I mean, I paid attention to styles and haircuts because I've always been fascinated with hair. I didn't realize it to the extent that I was until I actually got into the career. Now that I'm a barber, stylist, I look at everything. I can see everything. It's like, oh, now I see what it is. But I see everything. And if it's a good cut, I compliment them. If it's a bad one, I don't say nothing, but I pick it apart in my mind saying, oh, this is what happened. That's what happened. This is what they did. You know, and it helps me too. It really helps me too. So social media has normalized unrealistic hairlines, the spray paint, the pencils, all of that. It's normalized unrealistic hairlines. It really has. You got the pencil, but to each his own. To each his own. Let me put up another picture, y'all, of one of my hairlines. Here's another. So I got to tell y'all about this image right here, and I'll put that back up. So my client right here, I was cleaning up, and I was like, hey, Marion, get a picture of your hairline or your cut for me. Guess what, y'all? When I went back and looked at my phone, he had about 5 GQ shot pictures, you know, and I'm like, I didn't notice it until after he left. But anyway, this is one of my cuts, high taper fade with a cut. Well, actually, it's just a high taper. What I'm saying, high taper fade. It's a high taper, the size in the back. And that's the picture he took. That's the picture he took. Anyway, point number 2 of real talk. Social media has normalized unrealistic hairlines. Point number 3, let me go back to this. Social media has normalized unrealistic hairlines. Don't chase the trends, you young barbers out there. Honor the natural hairline. You can get a sharp hairline, shape up, edge up, trim, whatever you call it, depending on where you're from, you can get that. You can get it. All right. Just be patient. Okay. Be light with your hand and look at the natural line and run with that. So number 3, just because it's sharp doesn't mean it's healthy. Back again, you got some sharp lineups, but you don't know what they've done to get that lineup. Have they been tapping too much to get that lineup and possibly cut that client, cause some irritation? And you can see it right away depending on the client's skin. If they're really sensitive, if they're light, you're going to see it. You're going to see it right away. If they're super sensitive, you might even break the skin because you're trying to get that sharp line up or get it crispy. Anywho, just because it's sharp doesn't mean it's healthy, okay? Pushing the hairline back can cause damage, thinning, and regret. Regret on the client's part and regret they ever met you, the barber, a barber stylist. So be mindful of that. Be mindful. That's all I'm going to say. Be mindful. And number 4, professional barbers protect the client's image long term. You want to protect the client's image long term. You do that, it causes problems, it causes damage, to them. If it doesn't grow back, not only is it long term, you're impacting their self-esteem, you're impacting their confidence, because guess what? We did say that line is the first thing that folks see. Is the one most visible part of the haircut. They're going to see it. I got to tell y'all this. Don't tell nobody. This person that I know, this happened to them, and they wear a ton of that spray across the front to fill in because they barber them, pushed them back. And it's so heavy that you can see it. It looked like somebody sprayed the front of their head. But because the barber pushed them back, that's what they got to deal with. Anywho, let's get to this last point. Precision takes discipline. And let me back up. For number 4, professional barbers protect the client's image long term. We enhance, never erase who they are. And you'll erase who they are by pushing them back and tapping too much and damaging their hairline and causing problems with their hairline to the point where it doesn't grow. All right. So back to point 5. Precision takes discipline. LaDosha, you laughing up a storm. Noise, you laughing. Brother, he be sharp. Brothers, yeah, they be sharp. All right. I can see it a mile away, and I have to remind myself, Yah-Tay, mind your facial expressions. Because next thing I know, my eyes, my face tell it, and then I'm shaking my head. Straw Pit Joe, yes. He bet not sweat. Yeah, he better not sweat and jump in that shower. I'm telling you, because it only lasts, well, let me take that back. If they use dye on them, then it'll last a little longer. Because I know some barbers out there that'll take a little bit of dye. No, let me say hair color, semi-permanent, permanent. They'll put it in a little container, take their little brush, dip it in, and tap the line, and take the brush and brush it into the hair so it looks like it's filled in. When I got to tell y'all, when I first saw that, I was like, how y'all just going to put it on everybody? How do you know if they allergic or not? Might have a reaction. No strand test, no patch test, no none of that. I'm just saying. What did Dosha say here? I'm just saying. So once again, real talk with the clients. A bad lineup stands out immediately. Social media has normalized unrealistic hairlines. I should say shape ups, edge ups, and yeah, all the above. Number 3, just because it's sharp doesn't mean it's healthy. It might be sharp, but guess what? They might have pushed them back. They could have possibly damaged the follicle. They could have, the client don't know next time they might be thinning or starting to thin in those spots. And then the regret of it all. So yes, as I prepare to close out, point 1, we talked about natural always come first. You want to look at the natural line. You can get a sharp and crispy shape up with a natural line. All right? Don't believe the hype. Point 2, sharp doesn't mean pushback. You can have a sharp shape up, line up, edge up, and it not be pushed back. Again, y'all see my clients here. That sharp is not pushed back. Here's another one. He's sharp, but it's not pushed back. And let me put in one more, my little one. He's sharp, but he's not pushed back. He's not pushed back. He's still sharp. They sharp, y'all. They sharp, but they're not pushed back. And point number 3, precision requires patience. Slow hands create clean lines. You can't be rushing with that hairline. You can, but you might encounter some mistakes. Anywho, let's go ahead and close this out. I truly enjoyed this podcast and learned a lot. Thank you, and learned a lot. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm gonna tell y'all, I started with some rough shape ups in the beginning. I'm telling you, but it took practice and it took me understanding my handset, utilizing my clippers, you know, and really understanding what my clients wanted. And then, like I said, using my clippers for the various clients, my kids under a certain age, when they graduate to the next one, and then all of them hit, but my Cocoa trimmers, my digital gap trimmers, zero gap, digital gap, all of the above. But nonetheless, this is another one of my shape ups. Let me see. I think I might have one more. This is another one. That's another. He's sharp. It's the hand on the chin for me. He's sharp. Yeah. You talking about Marion? Yeah. Y'all should see the other pictures that were in the phone. I said I got to make a reel of it and say something about when you give your client the phone to take a picture for you so you can have, and this is what you get. But that's him. That's one of the poses. I'm going to have to put that up. But anywho, the lineup is where details meet discipline. The lineup, remember, is where details meet discipline. Anybody can make something look sharp for a picture, but real professionals think beyond that moment. We're thinking about not damaging the client's hairline and follicles. We're thinking about not pushing them back. We're thinking about not having regrets for having messed them up. Okay? So, once again, anybody or any barber can make something look sharp for a picture. Make it look crispy for the picture. But a real professional think beyond the moment. So respect the client, respect the hairline, respect the craft class. Respect the craft. Respect the craft. Respect the client, respect their hairline, and respect the craft. That's all I have for tonight. This has been episode number 85. Your lineup speaks first. It really does. Why? Because it's the first visible part of the haircut that people see. So it speaks first. So mastering the hairline, we want to respect that hairline, respect the client, and respect the craft. That's all I have. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, LaDosha. You are an excellent barber. I'm learning, and I'm sharing what I have, what I know, and I'm sharing as I go. And like I mentioned, for those of you who are tuning in, my desire and passion with Barber Knowledge Matters is to support our younger barbers, those who are considering getting in the industry, and even for clients who just want to know this information, they can use it as well, because it gives them a clear understanding of what their barber does, how things work, how it should be. You know, I even talk to my clients about their weak side and their strong side. I talk to my clients about their hairline, if they have a Willow's Peak, if they have a lot of hair here, you know, that comes down their forehead. How are we going to handle that? Do we set the bars on this side of the client, on the wider part of the eyebrow, or do we line it up with that first bone along the eyebrow? What does their forehead look like? You know, we want to complement it. Do we want to open it up and make it, you know, look a little wider for them? If that's something that they desire, I'm asking them all kind of questions and getting them involved, because at the end of the day, when they leave my chair, it's their look. It's their look. And I want them to feel confident. I want them to feel proud. I want them to walk with their shoulders back, chin up, and be proud of their cut and say, my barber bad. Yah-Tay the barber, that's my barber there. She took care of me. Oh, who that is? Who that is? Hey, Kiana, thank you for joining. I appreciate you. We're closing it out, but I see you tomorrow. Hey, y'all, that's my author coach. She helped me with my first book. She wrote my introduction. We've been knowing each other for a very, very long time. And y'all look her up. She does a writing workshop every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's called Ghostwriters Not Allowed. Ghostwriters Not Allowed, if I got it right. If I haven't, help me out. Ghostwriters Not Allowed. Every Thursday, it's a free workshop. All you have to do is be willing to open up 1 hour for that training. She's exceptional. She's exceptional. I actually still receive one-on-one coaching for her for content and some other things that she's helping me with as well. So I keep her close. I keep her close. But nonetheless, I want to thank those of you for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Remember, respect the client, respect the hairline, respect the craft. Because if we don't, we can cause some damage. We can cause some problems for the client and things that they regret. We don't want that. So remember, the lineup is where details meet discipline. Have the discipline to respect the client, respect that hairline, and respect our craft. I'm out, y'all. See y'all on the next episode of Female Barber Talk with Yah-Tay. Thank you all for joining. If you're catching this on the replay, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to replay this podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Share your experience of your shape up, line up, or edge up with your barber. Did your barber listen to you, or did your barber do what they want to do? Do you still have a hairline, or do you have to use the enhancement, the spray can, the fibers on the front line up? Put that in the comments. Let us know what's going on with your hairline. I already told y'all what's going on with mine. I keep my bars. I have part of a C cup because y'all, I have a habit of sleeping with my glasses on. So the arm of my glasses have rubbed it out. So guess what? How I enhance that? We taper it out. That my barber Brandy. She taper it out and make it look good. Yeah, deuces. All right. See y'all in the next episode. That's all I got. Until next time. Enjoy.
Naturals.